It's got a couple interesting finds. I think this may be a harmonica reed. I've never dug one that looks like this, but I don't know what that thing is. It was barely under the ground, but then right next to it got this sweet old pocket knife. That's a nice find. It wasn't very deep either, but I'm hunting around the woods here. It's pretty thick. I'm hoping to come across some nice stuff, but I will get back to you in the next hole. Cheers. I may be onto a good spot here. That's an old pocket watch back. Yeah, looks like it's copper. That's a good find. Definitely has some age to it. Alright, we'll see you in the next hole. Got my first coin out of the woods here. Finding lots of older stuff, but haven't found too many coins. Just a weedy. I believe it's a 1924. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Alrighty, we'll see you on the next. I'm back in the woods again. Just got me a little pendant. I'm guessing it's probably a religious pendant, but there's really doesn't appear to be any details that I can see yet on it. I'll get it home and clean it up, put a flashlight on it, see if I can see anything. But it's a good find. I'll see you in the next. I was just swinging under the edge of my deck. You can see I'm under here. It's got a neat looking key. I don't think there's any writing on it, but I will be cleaning it up and checking it out to see if there is. Yep, never found a key quite like that before. Alrighty, see you on the next. Alright, I'm back in the park. I think I might have just scored another gold ring just below the surface. It looks good. Looks real good. Switch my hands here. Right-handed. Actually, it doesn't feel that heavy. Right, I'm going to wipe it out here and see if there's any marks in there. Alright, see you in the next. Get this thing to focus here. Come on now. Yeah, I doubt you'll be able to see that. 14K. 14K. Alright then. Super stoked. Another gold ring in the park. Alrighty, see you in the next. Just got another ring. I don't think this one's gold. Looks like gold. It looks a little rough around the edges and I can't find a mark inside, but I'll check it out when I get home. And also it's feather light, so I think it's a junker, but it's another ring. Stoked to have it. I just dug me a little earring. I don't know if it's silver or not. Let me toothbrush it off here a bit and I'll get back to you. Sure looks like it could be. Alright, see you in a minute. Yeah, it appears to be plated. You can see where it's coming off there in the corner a bit. Just a junker. Alright, see you in the next. Although I did find my first little piece of silver. It's a silver wire. Somebody, looks like they made into some kind of ring, was holding something. But it's definitely silver. It's my only silver find out of this park, but I can't complain. 2 gold rings. Works for me. Let me see if I can find anything else. See you in the next hole. No idea what this is. It's a surface find. Some kind of magnetic hematites or something. Huh. Yeah, it rang up on the detector. Not sure what it is. Oh, this is ringing up pretty high. Do I have a piece of silver? What do we got here? Chain. It's clean. That's interesting. Let me get it cleaned off here a bit and I'll show you what I got. Got my first piece of silver out of the park. I don't know if we're going to be able to focus on that. Come on now. 925 right there. There it is, 925. I'm not sure about the chain, but I'm stoked. First piece of silver out of the park, finally. Rang up just like a pull tab too, so the 100+ pull tabs I've dug are worthwhile. Alrighty then. So our trashy park's worth hunting. So I spent about 12 hours hunting the park across from my house. And as you can see, I dug a ton of targets. Man, there's a ton of trash in that park. Look at all those pull tabs. Yep, and this little plate, all those little bits and pieces, those are all in the gold range. These are all deep. Not as many coins in that park as you would think, actually. It's pretty devoid of coins. Most of these bottle caps came out of the wooded area in the park. They were down really deep, and it was hard to ignore them, so I went ahead and dug them. I'm actually starting to figure out exactly what these bottle caps actually really do sound like. They ring up pretty high, but I did a couple adjustments to my Deus, and I got a pretty good grunt now coming off of bottle caps, so I can avoid digging those for the most part, but it took a while to figure that out, and look at all those pull tabs. But made some good finds in the park. This is the accumulation of 12 hours of digging over 5 different hunts, 2 to 3 hours at a time. But I thought I got my thimble, but it's not what it is. I'm not even sure what it is. A little piece of junk. This is a pretty nice little pocket knife. I like it a lot. I'm not quite sure what that is. Looks like shell on the side of this pocket knife. Boy, it's in really good shape for an old knife. I was happy to find that. Got a little pin. Look at this. What does it say? I can't remember. Keep it simple. I'm kind of stoned. Well, toss that in the garbage there. And the only old coin I found was in the woods. It's that 1928S wheat. That's an older coin, but the main part of the park where I was doing most of my digging, unfortunately, I learned has a ton of fill. Like a good 4 or 5 inches. I was digging all this clad and a lot of these zinc pennies and nickels and whatnot, you know, 7, 8 inches down, which they have no business being down there considering they're no more than 40 years old. But I did find some nice stuff. This is a 4570. That's a 1883 round, so that's a nice old round I found in the woods. Shotgun head stamped. It's got some age. You saw that button in the last video that I unfortunately stabbed with my I stabbed it with my lash. It's such a bummer. Got a few junker items. That's a junker earring and a little gold-plated ring. And this is silver. Wire somebody had twisted up to hold something, probably some kind of pendant or something, but indeed it is a little piece of silver. And you saw in the video it got another 14K gold ring. I'm not even sure where the mark is in there, even if I need to look for it. But indeed, it's another 14K gold ring. So I'm stoked about that. So that's 2 gold rings I pulled out of the park. There's that 14K in diamond ring I got a couple days ago. And I got this sterling chain. It's stamped, or not sterling, it's 925. It's stamped there and it's stamped on the pendant here. I can't remember what it says. A sister is a friend forever. That's what it says. So that's nice. Got a piece of silver. And I cleaned up this religious pendant, and I can see it's got a bunch of stars around the edge, and looks like Mother Mary on this side. That's definitely got some real age to it. This park is very old. It was, the creek there was mined for gold. Starting in the, I believe, the 1860s, and then I believe it was actually designated a park very late 1890s, like right around the turn of the century.
So there's a lot of potential to find some nice stuff in there. I was really bummed that the main part of the park that has been used exclusively for the last 120 years has all the fill. So I have no hope of getting down to any old coins or whatnot, but I got the 2 nice gold rings and that silver pendant. And I got that pocket watch in the woods. So the woods is where I'm going to be concentrating the next time I go back into the park, because it is where I found the older items. Got the 28 wheat and the old pendant and the pocket watch, the knife. And I dug this guy out of the park too. That's actually a very high quality knife. I started cleaning it up a bit and then put it on the wheel, cleaned it up some more, and already put an edge on it. It's holding pretty well. So I'm going to be putting that in the lineup with the rest of the knives there hanging on the wall. So that's pretty much a wrap for this week. Just a little park hunting for me. Haven't had a lot of time, so I got up. I get up very early, so I went and hit the park for 2 or 3 hours in the morning before I had to take my boy to school, and then went to work. So we will see you in the next hole. Cheers.